Oh, I guess I'm starting this. Okay. So, in a few days, Dragon Ball Z.
Do you want to introduce yourself first?
I guess so. I mean, I was just kind of gonna jump right into it, but hey, it's Jordan, and I'm here with my brother, and we're gonna discuss some things.
Yeah. Thanks for telling them my name. Cameron here.
I figured you'd handle that. Yeah. So, like, depending on how these things go, we'll be posting usually like stuff that we might see on TV or different topics, anywhere from like anime, video games, movies, TV shows. And to kick things off, we wanna kick it old school.
Porn, whatever.
I mean, I'm sure there's porn of Dragon Ball Z out there, but that's not the route I was gonna go. Oh god. So I'm sure many of you out there are familiar with Dragon Ball Z. It won't die. And that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. No one's.
You think it should die?
I think parts of it should die. Some of us should say it did. But,
GT.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point, most people are just ignoring that happened, except for, say, Nickelodeon. Because when Akira Toriyama does these specials that he's directly involved in,
Yeah,
Akira Toriyama, come on. When you see him involved in these specials, it's never anything that takes place in the GT universe.
Well, this is different.
No.
This is canon. This movie is canon.
No. I know it's canon, but I'm saying whenever Akira Toriyama is involved in one of these things, it's never set in the GT universe. Neither is this.
Oh, yeah.
This is set before the GT universe ever takes place. Everything that he's done so far that's been after that has been like a Dragon Ball Z movie or special has taken place after the Buu saga. Because I guess they felt like there was a lot that happened.
He didn't work on the GT, so of course he's not going to give a...
I know, but I'm saying the creator of the entire franchise doesn't give a fuck about GT. Like, that says
Your
something.
mom doesn't give a fuck about GT.
I know she
Your
doesn't.
mailman doesn't give a fuck about GT.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know the mailman or mailwoman or whatever. I mean,
I'm pretty sure the mailman does not give a fuck about GT. But anyway.
I would hope not, but yeah.
So Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods comes out March 30th.
Yeah, pretty damn soon. And before we get further than that, for all you out there with GT, I'd like to point out, if I had some way to justify its existence, I would say production company got a 5-year-old, had that 5-year-old drop some acid and write shitty fanfic. It's the only way I can explain that. But back to Battle of the Gods. You want to take this? Start with that?
I guess we should just talk about what it's about first. It's basically... It takes place after the Cell Saga is over. But before, like... You know how at the end they had that little epilogue?
Yeah.
It's I mean, after the Buu Saga.
Yeah, it takes place after the Buu Saga because right when Buu is defeated, before the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, it's established that there's a 10-year gap between when Buu was defeated and that last episode. So between that 10 years, a lot of things happened. One of the things that happened was a special that was celebrating Dragon Ball Z. I believe it was the 20th year anniversary. It was pretty weird. It was a little short 30-minute bit for all of you who aren't familiar with it. And essentially, it was leftover Frieza villains versus the Dragon Ball Z crew. And they were just like, fuck it. We're just going to let the kids fight them. And then the two villains that were involved, they fused. Goku and Vegeta decided to pick up the slack because for whatever reason, the kids couldn't defeat them. And Vegeta got tricked because Kakarot, as he calls him, was like, "Hey Vegeta, look over there." And
wait, what?
that's how... you don't remember that? Oh wait, yeah, it was a train wreck and you didn't finish watching it because it sucked. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Essentially,
we're talking about something else there.
No, we're talking about the 20th year anniversary.
Okay,
they're picking radishes because they own a radish farm now. They're picking radishes to decide who fights them, and Goku cheats because he's a dick. He's like, "Oh, I don't want just Trunks fighting, even though Trunks won fair and square." He's like, "I want my kid fighting too." So they fight the leftover the leftover Frieza villains. And then the Frieza villains fuse, and Gotenks can't even take him for whatever dumbass reason that is. So Vegeta and Goku compete over who's going to do it. And while they're flying to defeat the villain, Goku's just like, yeah, fuck you. Hey, look, over there's something. Vegeta had no reason to look. None whatsoever. And he falls for it. And then Goku defeats the
I don't
villain.
want to know about this. Okay, why are we talking about this? I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to know about this.
No. The reason why I'm talking about it is I'm saying there's stuff that happened. That was something that was stupid after the Boo Saga, which was disappointing more because of what it could have been than what actually happened. And so now we have this thing that, you know, maybe takes place presumably after that could hold promise. It looks weird as shit. I mean, there's a fucking jackal. And I mean, I thought it was a rabbit. I thought it was a giant purple rabbit because that's how it looks, but it's a jackal.
Okay.
So, you know, this could hold promise, but let's talk about that.
Okay, so it takes place between the Boo Saga and that little epilogue where it goes off with the train a little kid.
Yeah,
which is kind of creepy.
Creepy, and also it's like, Goku, you're a big father. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
I'm going out. I'm sorry. I'm leaving my wife to go into the mountains with a little. Was he Indian? I don't know.
I don't know what they consider Indian, because apparently in the Dragon Ball Z universe, you're Indian if you're poor and can't support your village. Because it's falling apart. It's like that. Really, Dragon Ball Z? Really? But anyway, that's what they were going for. And yeah, it sounds like creepier when you say it out loud like that.
Yeah, so that's chapters between chapters 517 and 518 for the manga people there. And this story actually has Akira Toriyama like directly, deeply involved in this.
Yes.
So it's considered canon to the storyline.
Oh yeah, that was
like everything that comes out of here is canon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god, just like Vegeta has a little brother. That's canon now, and he's married to a fucking smiley face. Okay. You can't unknow that.
I'm not sure that's canon.
That's canon. That was Akira Toriyama working on that shit. That is canon.
I don't consider.
Okay, fine. You don't consider it, but it could. I'm pretty sure it's canon. But. Okay.
I'm gonna use the most trusted source on the web, Wikipedia here.
Yeah, clearly, yes.
Basically, Beerus, the god of destruction, hears about Frieza getting his ass kicked by Goku. Decides, you know what, this guy may be worth something. I want to beat the fuck out of him. And so he travels, to the North Quadrant of the universe.
North Quadrant.
To face Goku and basically engage in the ultimate fight, battle of gods type thing.
Yeah, and really, I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet, and normally in these situations, if I had to judge, I'd just be like, oh, that's not a solid motivation, but it's the god of destruction. He doesn't need any motivation other than he's the fucking god of destruction. But, I mean, it's promise, and I'm hoping to see some of the things that made Dragon Ball Z special in the first place.
What's this on Wikipedia?
Huh?
Okay, the April issue teased about a new Super Saiyan transformation being in the film, titled Super Saiyan God. Saying 39 years ago, the Oracle Fish told Beerus, who's the evil villain in the movie, the god. He's not really evil, but he's just a guy who just wants to fight. But that the Super Saiyan God will appear before him, and this is the beginning of the movie story. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
I hope it is. I mean, I'd be curious to see that. Something needs to make up for Super Saiyan 3, and Super Saiyan 4 damn sure didn't do it.
And also, Beerus' design is based on, like, cat, and his clothes are based on Egyptian garments, which makes sense, not Japanese.
Yeah. Well...
Because the Egyptian garments, Egyptians Egyptians worship cats.
He's got really long ears. Just saying.
Yeah.
Some people might say cat, some people might say jacket, but really...
Jackal.
I meant jackal, you know what I meant. But he looks like a rabbit, kind of. He does.
There's some plot stuff there, but I'm not going to get into that.
Evil purple rabbit. What?
Well, you know what I'm saying? They have some plot on Wikipedia, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
See, I'm not really sure what to think about this movie.
Oh, like I was saying, I'm hoping to see a lot of made Dragon Ball Z special. I mean, let's face it, it's long overdue. And at the same time, I'm curious to see what this new stuff is about. On some level, I'm kind of hesitant because I'm like, wow, yeah, they're probably going to fuck something up. And on the other hand, I'm like, well, this is different. Maybe it could be good different. I mean, and if you gave Boo Saga a chance, why not this?
It just feels like a lot of the other movies where it's like not really a plot, really. It's more like a setup for a fight.
That's most of Dragon Ball Z, to be fair.
Okay. But what's your favorite saga, Jordan?
Cell Saga, I mean, that had plot. Okay, it did.
There's a plot there with time travel, saving the future, there's twists.
Yes. And while that is my favorite saga, I would like to point out that is an exception to most of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. There is a very, very... I mean, it's like, I like the plot, actually, but it's like it's barely there. It's like, Saiyans, shit. And then, like, okay, it's one of those very, very basic generic plots. No, evil emperor, blah, blah, blah. And then Cell Saga, that's where it became different. And then you got to Buu Saga, and it's just like, fuck it, filler. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's essentially what that was, a bunch of filler shit. And also, I mean, I felt like that was a giant fuck you to, like, everybody on Akira Toriyama's part. I mean, part of it was, you know, he was restricted. And the whole Goku and Goten thing, oh god.
Goten was a mistake.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
And they keep enforcing him down people's throats. And I mean,
Not
I imagine he would show up in this one, yeah.
At least Gohan, you had the mystery thing, like, oh, he's got this inner power. You know that's going to come into play later. Goten, he's just a little brat that's annoying. And everyone hated him because he got Super Saiyan when he's like 7 or something.
And it made no sense. And it was irritating. Everyone else had to work their fucking ass off to do that. And Gohan at that point was the youngest person to do it. And he earned it. He earned every last bit of it. You know, I mean, so I feel like as a kid, you could relate to Gohan. And as an adult, you still can. Because he was that kid that was forced to be an adult. Like, I mean, he started off as a whiny little bitch, but then he had no choice but to grow. And he was keeping up with everybody the whole time. With Goten, now he's just a kid. And kind of slow kid at that.
He was supposed to be Goku, the young Goku Redux, but it's kind of like we already went through that with Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
and he's not going on lovable adventures and facing evil demon kings.
He's just sort of there. Huh? Yeah. Oh man, Evil King Piccolo saga. That was the shit. That was, I would say, the best Dragon Ball saga. But yeah. They keep on putting him in stuff, and it was annoying. And I feel like, whereas this movie, maybe it'll be more serious plot, I felt like a lot of the Buu Saga after a certain point was a giant parody. I mean, like with Goten, for instance, right? I feel like part of that was to appease, you know, some fans, and at the same time say, fuck you. Because, you know, they wanted Goku. He's like, oh, you want Goku? I'll get little Goku. And they kind of make fun of how Goku used to be. And then, like, the further you go on, it's just like, oh, I'm going to pretty much give you, like, a lot of the bad things that people complain about involved in Dragon Ball Z. And only saving grace from that saga was, I would say, probably the music. I mean, that was pretty amazing. And I say the parody stuff because I feel like that's kind of supported because later on he does Nekomazin Z, which is absolute irreverent self-parody.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like the Buu Saga was kind of experimenting on that. He still kind of wanted to be serious, but at the same time, he's like, you know, I don't want to make the silliest shit. I mean, come on. It's like you're fighting chewed up bubblegum, and that's your main villain. And that being said, there were some good parts, some parts that, you know, really do stand out.
I like the second fusion. You know, Goten and Trunks, they do the first fusion. Then when Vegeta and Goku are doing fusion, that's what you're kind of waiting for. You're like, oh snap, they're about to
the badass fusion.
And then Goten and Trunks is like, I don't care about these people.
Yeah, it's like you don't care about Trunks, you care about Goten. You haven't had any time to actually get to know them, and all of a sudden they're important.
I feel like if they had made like Trunks sort of like Gohan's like Gohan sort of like mentee or something. Because you know they have the relationship from the future, and you sort of like you're used to Trunks' personality. You like Trunks from Cell Saga, so it was built in that you wanted to like Trunks. You wanted to like Kid Trunks.
Yeah, but you couldn't. I mean, you liked him better than Goten, but really, it's like so what? That's not saying much. And here, he was such a departure from Trunks. I mean, granted, he has different circumstances growing up, so you expect him to be a different person. It's just like the Trunks. And from the future timeline, he's just so serious. You know, he had a hard life. And this Trunks, he's been spoiled rotten. And Vegeta, who's supposed to be, oh, big bad, I'm the Prince of all sins, you know, doesn't know how to, you know, make sure his kid doesn't turn out to be an entitled, spoiled little dish. I mean, what the hell is that about? And by the way, really, Prince of Saiyans, unless there's some sort of special ceremony, he should be king of whatever little Saiyans there is left. But anyway. Yeah, so yeah, Trunks and Goten, and they're included. They try to make them main characters, but then you lost focus in the Buu Saga. And then you had that stupid special, and now you have this, and I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, after that many years, they want to do something right with Dragon Ball Z again.
So I'm wondering, like, how many years does this take place, like, after the Buu Saga?
They don't
Because is it, like, right after the Buu Saga?
It says it's in between.
Because Because it'd be interesting, like, see, like, are like, Gohan and, like, Videl married and in this movie? Because that'd be pretty interesting.
They don't say when they got married, too, but I assume that's probably the route they'll go.
Well, I assume... Well, they have to get married with probably... Like,
within the 10 years.
Because there's Pan, right?
Yeah. Pan's 4 years old by the time of by the end of Dragon Ball.
Well, yeah. I'm just assuming that they have the kid after the marriage, even though that's technically you don't need that.
Yeah, true.
But I'm just assuming because that's what a lot of manga and media do. But
I have no idea when exactly it takes place. They don't really say. But I'm definitely curious to see this. I mean, I'm not expecting Cell Saga, and I'm not expecting it to be as shitty as some parts of the Buu Saga was, because really. Again, I more dislike that saga because of what it could have been as opposed to what it just was. But this one, it seems like a callback.
I'm taking a look at the poster to see how the characters look, how old the characters look there. Huh.
Oh, let's see.
Golden doesn't look that much older.
And neither does
Trunks. So, yeah.
So, I guess this is a little bit after. Videl looks different, but she changes every 5 seconds anyway.
So, maybe like a year after or something.
Which is disappointing. I would have thought it would have been more interesting to see, an older Trunks and Goten. And then you have Gohan is a Super Saiyan. And that would intrigue me. And I'll tell you why it intrigues me. Now, there's like a lot of online stuff about Gohan and the ability to go Super Saiyan after he gets like his abilities unlocked fully, which is kind of ridiculous because
we've debated this before.
That should have been his unlocked ability. But anyway, I mean, it's interesting to see it here, and I feel like that kind of confirms my theory on it. It was just like he didn't really need it because he felt like he was powerful in his base form, but he could go it. I mean, and I don't think he really had time to go it while he got into that fight. But so with the Super Saiyan form, I don't think it would be weaker. That wouldn't make any sense, at all. It doesn't.
I feel like we may have to watch the original Japanese version to understand how that works. Because I feel like they probably mistranslated something.
Oh, they probably did, yeah. But why did so many people just assume that breaks the Super Saiyan? They never once said that breaks it.
I just don't understand that whole unlocking thing.
I don't know.
It's been a while since we watched the Buu Saga anyway.
Oh yeah, man, we're gonna have to rewatch that. Yeah. We rewatched the rest of it, so I'm thinking I'll get that this month and rewatch it.
Yeah, we should rewatch it before we watch this movie. But.
Yeah. I mean that's a good call because by that time we probably have subversion or something. Oh, and an interesting note. This is the first theatrical release of a Dragon Ball Z movie in 17 years. Long time.
Okay. People in Japan are excited.
I bet.
Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah. I mean, apparently people are really excited because, Dragon Ball Z just doesn't die. And you had, Kai being popular and, which, by the way, was going to end at the Cell Saga, and now they're thinking about bringing back Kai to do the Buu Saga and all that. But anyway, with the Dragon Ball Z hype, we discovered something that's just odd.
It's been on news sites.
Huh?
It
has. But, how many people know about that?
We discovered this.
Okay, we didn't discover it.
I'm pretty sure it's on Reddit and
it's just one of those fun little things where you're like, oh, that's fucking weird. Because we didn't discover it, but
Okay, let's say we discovered and take all the credit.
I wasn't trying to take the credit. I'm just saying, it was a weird little thing when we found out. I'm not saying we found out in the grand scheme of things. It's just that, we came across it.
We actually did whatever this is. Screw it. We're taking credit for everything. We wrote Dragon Ball Z. We gave the idea to Akira Toriyama. We went back in time. We did the whole thing. I tossed the scripts at him. He was like, whoa.
We both know if we did that, the Buu Saga would have been better. And yes, I'm still talking about that. But, you know what I meant. I'm just saying, we came across the information. Is that better?
Okay, okay. I'll accept that.
Yeah, I bet you will. Good grief. But, that being said, so there's been a trend among Japanese girls imitating Dragon Ball Z moves out there and taking photos on it, kind of freeze framing it.
Yeah, like they've been Kamehameha.
Yeah.
I like one I saw where it's like she like one of the girls like landed.
Oh yeah.
The dramatic style,
and they're folding back.
kind of like Superman landing, like, and like
everyone,
all the
like,
other
flying
girls
up.
are flying. But
I mean, that's
I guess they like time it so that when they jump, it looks like they're being pushed or like some.
Yeah.
Or,
and I mean, I gotta give him credit on that. That's pretty cool. But I mean, it's crazy.
There's also the KFC Dragon Ball Z promotion.
I was not aware of that. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, there's KFC Dragon Ball. See, there's the Colonel himself dressed up in Goku's gi there.
Oh dear God!
You know KFC is really popular in Japan. You know that, right?
That is both awesome and horrifying all at the same time. And no, I did not. And is that Goku eating fried chicken? Oh my God! That is a picture of Goku eating fried chicken.
Okay, he would eat anything.
Okay,
so
I get that, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Little KFC logo in the background.
It's really popular in Japan.
Okay, apparently. I mean, you learn something new every day. I don't know how to take that.
KFC wa oishii desu ne.
What you said. It's crazy, man. Like, Dragon Ball, like, the whole damn thing has been going on 30 years. It is still relevant. It is still popular. It's crazy. And it has survived GT.
Yeah. I don't know how popular it is among kids now. I don't know. You watch it.
I mean, we don't really know anything about modern kids these days. But, I mean,
fuck
Dragon...
kids.
I don't know.
They ruin all the good shows.
Yeah, they do. Because, like, I mean, CW, they brought, like, Dragon Ball Z Kai, but it was a watered down version of an already watered down show.
More spectacular Spider-Man Young Justice. But anyway, there are other issues involved in those. But anyway,
oh my God! You know, they both only lasted 2 seasons. Although I admit, by the end of Young Justice,
we'll talk about that.
Miss Spectacular Spider-Man, but we'll get into that another time. Dear God, there's a lot
to say
about that.
There are other issues involved in Spectacular Spider-Man.
I
to be fair.
get that. I really do. But they could have tried.
They involve like rights going back to Marvel
and money, and
but
that's
anyway.
what it comes down to. Because they're just like, fuck it, we're just going to do this new.
Well, they're a business. That's their entire goal is to optimize the amount of money.
I get that, but how is that working out for them? That's probably pretty damn well. I mean,
for Marvel, pretty well.
Like, I mean, they're gonna make money no matter what.
For Marvel and Disney, is working pretty well, I think.
Yeah, but whatever happened to artistic integrity? Nah, I can't even say it with a straight face.
Yeah, I think Dragon Ball is going to do gangbusters, but the new movie.
Wait, what?
I think the new Dragon Ball movie is going to do gangbusters in Japan.
Huh?
Because I mean, people have been pent up for this. They got Kai introducing a new generation, nostalgia factor. I mean, in America, people are probably going to pirate it and just get on DVD.
Oh hell yeah!
But
that's the plan. I mean, what else? But we don't even know if there's going to be a theatrical release here. Although I think they were planning that. I mean, we know they're going to do an English version, but
I don't know what the English. Let me
I don't know
see.
what the deal with that is.
I don't know what the deal is for that. Or how long it'll take them to actually like dub it over. Like I know there's a lot of purists out there that prefer the Japanese version, but I just grew up with the English version. That's the one I enjoy. That's the voices I'm used to, the music I'm used to, and
yeah.
There may be more critics out there that prefer the Japanese version, but it's just I'm used to the English version. If you show me the other version, I just can't get into it the same way.
I mean, let's talk about that for a minute because I'm gonna get my whole like clearly biased part out of the way first. Like first off, I'd like to say you obviously you can't have the English version without the Japanese version, but fuck that version. Like I agree
fuck your
with
couch.
Right. I agree with some of the points that you were making about that because I haven't watched bit of both. I can say with the voices. I mean, obviously, I don't speak. Well, I mean, but a lot of people out there won't know. But I don't speak fluent Japanese, so I mean, I imagine that would make some sort of difference. But in terms of the actual voice quality, their whole thing was like, this is definitely an anime. This is like these silly voices, and like Goku, he's either played by a woman or someone that sounds an awful lot like a woman.
Have you ever seen his voice actors?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the voice actress.
I mean, that right there says something. But while you look that up, I mean, in the American version, right? I mean, they definitely had these voices that you probably wouldn't hear in your everyday life. But, you know, it's very fitting. It's very serious. Although Piccolo, he sounds like Piccolo. Oh, dear God. Is that Goku? Goku's old lady? That's about as bad as, like, Frieza being an old woman in the English version.
She's 76. Oh. I don't know how long she played. I don't know if she's still playing them.
Don't know. But, I mean, the fact that an old lady played Goku should say something. That's part of the reason why I like the voices better. In the music, there are definitely some things that stand out about certain songs from the Japanese version.
Oh, she played Guillemot and Digimon. Wow.
Huh. Weird. But, yeah. So, my thing with the music, so we covered the voices. My thing with the music, though, is when you had, like, a lot of Dragon Ball stuff, right? You had this, like, very, very dramatic music that just seemed very fitting for it, you know? Like, a lot of old school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to Dragon Ball Z, shit just got real. Shit changed. And they kept a lot of the themes and added a lot of themes that were in a similar vein in the Japanese version. Where in America, you know, it's just like, this is intense. And what's more intense than, you know, hard rock? What's more intense than metal? And you had a lot of songs geared towards that, or if it wasn't outright like metal or hard rock sort of in its nature, a lot of the pieces in the English version featured electric guitars and like the more serious sounding stuff, like that wasn't just meant to get your blood pumping. It was very, very good, very well composed, and I think more care was taken with it in some ways. But I mean, it could also be a preference because, you know, I like the metal sort of stuff, and you know, electric guitars. But yeah, they did a pretty solid job. And who's that?
Vegeta. That's Vegeta. Oh,
he looks like Vegeta.
Yeah, but yeah, she is still voicing Goku in this one.
God. Yeah.
At the ripe old age of 76.
Go her? I mean,
that's impressive.
It is impressive. It's just like, it's different. You know, like, I mean, I'm sure it'll be different for different people. But I don't mean to offend anyone out there, and by that I mean I don't give a fuck. I know a lot of people that do get, like, you know, the purists that are just really snobby, and they're like, oh, the American version is shit. It's like, is it really under close inspection? I mean, if you ignore, like, some of the censor stuff you saw, like, a lot of care was taken with it. The voices, the acting, I mean, the translation, well, it's mostly the same.
I thought it was Mondo cool.
That's right, boys. Mondo cool. Damn, there's not a sunset!
Yeah.
Oh god, no, okay, some of that was just good old fun. That was Dragon Ball Z at its best.
Yeah, if you want to get that reference, rewatch the entire Dragon Ball Z series until you find it. Because we're not going to tell you where that happened.
No, we're not going to do that. I'm going to tell you what happened, and you're going to look it up on YouTube, just so you can see that we're not bullshitting you.
Is that on YouTube?
Yes, it's on YouTube. Actually, you know, yeah. Let's play it.
I'm not sure. We'll see if it shows up. If it doesn't, you can look it up yourselves.
Yeah.
Stop being lazy.
But while I was looking that up, I mean, it's like, well, Namek, they get new Saiyan suits. Like, Krillin gives a new Saiyan suit. Sorry, Vegeta gives new Saiyan suits to Krillin and Gohan. And Krillin, he's a dork. So what does he say? These suits are mono cool. So Vegeta, he's looking out towards the, you know, in the distance at the sunset. And he's like, that's right, boys. Mono cool.
Here we go.
It's called an isolation chamber. It'll get Kakarot's strength back in no time. The liquid in the capsule is synthetic Saiyan DNA, which will penetrate his every pore and make him good as new.
Whoa, Mondo cool.
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
Okay, so I was wrong about the Saiyan suits. It was the rejuvenation chamber, but still. It's ridiculous.
I just like the character Vegeta going like, that's right, boys. Mondo cool.
And his face is so serious because, you know, it's Vegeta. But he says it with a straight face.
I'm just trying to imagine like an analog to this. Like,
is there one? Can there be one? Can you top Mondo cool?
It's just like,
And, I mean, that's also part of the reason why I like the English version, because they were able to do silly shit like that, which I felt like captures the spirit of Dragon Ball Z. Because, it didn't take itself
Yeah, you don't take
seriously.
it seriously.
And they still had serious moments. Like, oh my god, the Cell Saga. So well done. They spared no punches. Like, even when you watch the old version on Cartoon Network, how much could you actually censor that, You couldn't too much. I mean, a lot of the premise was about a lot of people dying. I mean, come on, Trunks' future, there's not that many people left because the androids just decimated everything, pretty much killed everybody. Can't really censor all of that. And it showed, and I think that was great. Anytime you can't censor it that much.
What was your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Oh, man. It's a tough call. I mean, are we counting TV specials? Or...
Yeah. I mean, like, I heard Akira Toriyama's favorite thing they didn't do was Bardock. Yeah,
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that was really good.
Bardock was pretty good. I mean, if I had to personally choose, I'd say History of Trunks, followed very closely by Bardock, or sometimes neck and neck. And speaking of that, before I get into some of the other movies, like my God, so yeah, Bardock is the first Super Saiyan officially. Or some shit. I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was a manga that I'm not sure. Did he? I don't think he drew it. Or
he didn't.
It was essentially like after Bardock gets blasted by Frieza. If you watch the movie, Bardock is Goku's father. After he gets blasted by Frieza and Planet Vegeta is destroyed, he gets sent through a time warp to.
Well, essentially. To this weird planet,
the
planet in the past.
Because I guess when the planet blew up, it was like it created a wormhole because of the gravitational collapse. But I don't want to get too sad.
Don't try to make this make sense. They just said, "Fuck it, we're sending him back in time." That's what happened. They did not think
a gravitational collapse created a singularity in the time-space continuum, allowing him to travel back in time.
Now, and if that's what they say they did, that would be fine. But no,
the planet Vegeta before
no
the
explanation it was given. But yeah, go on.
The planet Vegeta before the Saiyan showed up, right?
Yeah.
And essentially, like, Vegeta's, like, ancestor... Oh, no, Frieza's ancestor. Yeah. I don't know... Shield. I don't know where they get horrible names.
The puns, the cold puns.
But it shows up, causing trouble, Bardock goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah, pretty much beats his ass, and that's how the legend gets spread. And it was just very, very weird, surreal. I mean, it's really cool to be like, oh, wow, Bardock was the original Super Saiyan, because you felt like when you're watching that movie... He was doing things that most Saiyans should not have been able to do at that time.
Yeah, I don't like it, but
I have mixed feelings about it. It's just because it's like it's a cool idea, but poorly executed.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but it was
executed absolutely horribly. But if I could say like some of the movies that I did enjoy, but really didn't make it to my favorite, like I enjoyed Bojack Unbound because they're just like, hey, this is going Super Saiyan again, then World Tournament and all that.
See, that's just cool. Like 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah.
The rest of it is like just watch the clip on YouTube. It's not worth it to watch the movie.
I suppose.
Some
good moments, but Broly. I think the only reason I find that remotely entertaining is because everyone gets their ass beat thoroughly.
Well, that's another one of those things where it's like. If you watch it, it's like the characters aren't really interesting. The plot's not really interesting. It's just like if you skip to the last part where Broly and like they're fighting Broly and there's like this desperation and they're doing everything they can.
And it's kind of unsatisfying. Goku does this. I don't care if it's spoiled. It doesn't matter. I mean, it wasn't that much to be spoiled. Goku sort of like does this mysterious punch that kind of causes the power inside of Broly to explode within him, but then he survived to go on to 2 sequels, mind you. But I think originally the only reason I could find entertainment in that movie is just because seeing the Z Fighters get their asses kicked that badly. I mean, 4 Super Saiyans and a Super Namek. It was brutal.
But a Super Namek, but
yeah, the characterization in that movie though, that was awful. Like Vegeta, what was that about? None of the pride, none of the confidence. I mean,
well, that's what kind of happened to Cell Saga, but.
No.
Like
a little different.
No, at the towards the end of the Cell Saga, where he was like afraid to jump into the fight. Do you remember? After Trunks got killed and Gohan was doing the Kamehameha.
I thought he was more traumatized than anything.
Maybe.
Kind of, he just saw his son die and they realized, like, even though this is a dude he acted like he didn't care about. It meant something to him.
Well, I'm just saying, it was more like a character moment where he's like, there's nothing we can do. He's too powerful.
Okay,
it's one of those things. It also happened with Frieza, kind of, where he's like, when he's confronted with an overwhelming power, he gives up quicker than the other people. because he's like, there's nothing we can do. Stop. You know, we might as well just give up.
Okay, I mean, so maybe it's
I'm not really trying to defend the characterization in the Broly movie.
Okay, so maybe it wasn't as awful as I'm making it out to be because you have some solid points there, but it's just like less of it is given, you know? Like, you just sort of thrown into that without saying, hey, this is why he's not giving up. It's just like, oh no, I'm giving up now. He didn't even... See, in the other cases, right? He at least fought Frieza and at least fought Cell before deciding it was hopeless. In this one, he didn't fight till after he had already given up.
Well, but it is interesting to see because, like, typically with Dragon Ball Z villains, they tend to toy around and talk and make long monologues. Where Broly is just like, it's more intense, animalistic. He's going from fighter to fighter, beating the crap out of them. He's not trying to like make them. I don't feel like, from what I remember, he's not trying to make them. He's just beating them down.
Yes, he is. Like, I mean, it is brutal stuff. I mean, he's clothesline motherfuckers. Like, good grief. You know, like, right, and, gets him in the neck. And, I mean, yeah, it was brutal. And one of the things, though, I did like was Goku's fighting him, and he's like, how about a handicap? that was funny.
Yeah, Dead Zone was kind of...
Oh, man, first Dragon Ball Z movie. What were you going to say about it?
Kind of forgettable.
Yeah. It's memorable for me for one solid reason. Now, the movie itself is, as you said, kind of forgettable, but it had a lasting impact. There was a whole filler saga from a character that was in a movie that was non-canon, the Garlic Jr. saga. You know, so there's
the filler's non-canon.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny. Although I did like the music that they got into it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think there's that many of them I like.
Well, because most of them are horrible. I mean, we're not going to get into too much of them, but we can kind of go through it and be like, oh yeah, this is kind of horrible. Alright, so you had Dead Zone. You said forgettable. Fair enough. World's Strongest wasn't really bad. It was alright. Tree of Might, it's like Turles, really? Lord Slug, Fake Super Saiyan, need I say more? Cooler's Revenge. Because, Frieza needed a brother. And then Return of Cooler. Metal Cooler is like it just got out of hand. Super Android 13, that wasn't horrible. It was just like, different.
I don't really remember it.
There was good parts and bad parts, like the little short android, that was horrible.
Broly.
Yeah, Broly, it has moments. Bojack Unbound, yes, that was kind of pointless except for a few good scenes, but that was just like 10 minutes of movie.
And then Broly sequels.
Yeah, that involved stuff in the Buu Saga and it's just horrible.
Like Bio Broly.
Bio Broly was a clone.
It sounded like Godzilla movies where you just like Mecha Godzilla now. It's like
yeah, and then this one's just really retarded because like Bio Broly, he's a living creature anyway. Why say that? And then it's like when you think about what Broly is a pun on, it's like Bio Broccoli.
Fusion Reborn.
Fusion Reborn was the one when they fought Janemba. It was a fat creature that turned into a skinny creature, and it was the first time you see Gotenks as a non-canon fusion character, and I think actually pales in comparison to Vegito, the canon fused character. Wrath of the Dragon was kind of shitty. Like it had Hildegard in it. It had a Super Dragon Punch from Goku. It did have Tampion with a sword. And it's like, oh, this is how this universe's version of Trunks get the sword, but
I don't
it's
really.
like, no, it's not that much. And Path to Power was just a Dragon Ball Z movie. A Dragon Ball movie that just got redone. But
okay.
We kind of reading down the list, so it kind of got caught in there. But then we have Battle of Gods, which is gonna come out soon. Could be something. And of course, you had the Bardock movie and the Trunks movie, and they were pretty solid movies.
Yeah, they were solid.
If you hadn't seen them, go get them. Either if you don't feel like buying them, find them on the internet. Do something. Watch them.
I feel like the writing in those is better than the series.
Yeah, I mean Wait, what?
I'm saying the writing in Bardock and History of Trunks is better than what you usually get in the Dragon Ball Z series. That's probably because it's a tighter thing, and they're not trying to stretch it. They're not trying to stretch it out to like 100 episodes, but it makes for a better story and like characterization and arcs and stuff. But like,
and you can't
buzzword.
You can't undersell like the desperation of it. I mean, in both cases, ultimately there is a happy ending, as it were. But the way the movies end Bardock just got blasted for standing up for his people, and then Trunks, his world's fucking. He doesn't know for sure that it's gonna be all right. So you know. Oh, and if we're gonna talk history of Trunks, go on that movie. Awesome.
Badass.
Oh yeah.
Total badass.
You gotta see it. So there's that.
We're just looking. Let's see if
There's
there's a
some
new
video games.
Let's see if there's a new video game coming out.
I don't know. I mean, we're overdue for a good Dragon Ball Z video game. Because, I mean, the Budokai Tenkaichi series wasn't horrible, but nothing so far that I've played anyway.
The Kinect one's supposed to be horrible.
Oh, I don't doubt it. So, I mean, I'm not even going to
Well,
worry
the
about
Kinect, the Kinect just looks horrible in general.
And I heard that the Ultimate Budokai, I heard that was horrible too. I don't think there's a Dragon Ball Z game out there that could surpass Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I mean, they set the bar high. But you gotta figure that was a long time ago on the PlayStation 2. There is no reason why they shouldn't be able to come out with a better one at this point. And I heard Raging Blast is not too bad, and I am probably going to test it out when I get a chance, because I do want to get another Dragon Ball Z game. And from what I played from the demo, you know, it's pretty fast-paced, so that looks like it's good, but I mean, I think that'll only, like, hold you for a little bit, you know? And for the other ones, it's just like, why? And, you know, it comes down to that money. They release it, they know people are going to buy them. No reason to make them, like, high quality.
So where do you think the franchise is going to go from here?
I think it's gonna keep on going, and eventually, someday.
Do you think they're gonna make sequels to like this specific like storyline, Battle of Gods, or do you think it's a one-off thing?
I think it's a one-off thing, but they will probably just try to cram in more story between those 10 years. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
If they go back
fill
to
it out.
like, there's a lot that could happen in 10 years before they all get nice and settled down. So they're probably working some more things with that. But like this one, I think once it'll be done, it'll be done. I mean, I think it'll be pretty much. Kind of like your typical Dragon Ball Z formula, you know, villain or supposed villain comes to Earth or wherever they're at, kicks their asses, and then they have to team up and stop it. Now, I hope the fighting's going to be good.
It'll be interesting to see with like a, you know, really well done animation. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So yeah, I mean, and it'll be better than the special, I hope, because the fighting there was weak. It wasn't really what you'd expect from a Dragon Ball Z thing, but, you know, you're ignoring its existence, and I can't say I blame you for that. So, I mean, I am hoping that it'll be different. I mean, it seems like it's promising, at least from the trailer, you know?
And don't even think about doing a live-action Dragon Ball Z movie unless you're willing to put, like, money and effort into it, and not just try to make a quick buck. Because, like, the movie that shall not be named just did everything wrong. But
I need to point out something in that, but before I do, it's like that's the same with the video games, kind of. And I bring that up because, what was it? The perfect example for the video games, like, there's some video games where, you know, they had a lot of fast-paced things going, and it's like, like Azura's Wrath. I mean, I haven't actually played it, and that is on my list of games that I'm going to play. I've seen a lot of trailers, and it's like that is some Dragon Ball Z shit right there. And it's like there's no reason they can't have some of that craziness in a Dragon Ball Z game in this modern era. Now with the movies, there's no reason to, because what was the movie? What were we watching? Something where it's like they had Dragon Ball Z sound like effects, and it was like done really well, and it's like there's no reason why they should not.
Well, I feel like Scott Pilgrim had.
Yeah, that's what it was. Scott Pilgrim.
They had better fighting effects than Dragon Ball Evolution.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World had much better effects than that. It's like this is kind of like Dragon Ball Z sort of style fighting done right.
Like the Super Vegan, which specifically parodying Dragon Ball Z, had better graphics.
Even to the point where I believe his hair rose when he went Super Vegan. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, you mean he had the blonde hair that was rising. He was doing blast.
So yeah, that was like a Dragon Ball Z thing right there, and it's like they did it really well. And while we're talking Scott Pilgrim,
so they did it for $60 million after tax. They did that for $60 million after tax rebates.
Okay, yeah.
Which isn't that bad for like
no,
a
it's
budget.
really not, and they did really well for it. I feel, and you know they made a decent amount.
It kind of flopped. It flopped.
I wanted to not flop, you know.
I think they barely made their money back because
of DVD sales.
Yeah, it's 40. They made $48 million at the box office, 16 million on DVD and Blu-ray sales. So if you include other stuff, that's they made
It's
their
close, yeah.
they made their money back.
And then a little bit of profit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is underrated though. And seriously though, Mary Elizabeth Winston, my God, she's hot.
She's hot.
And I mean, even the hair, the color, different colors, I like that. But anyway, that being said, I'm gonna have to say it, man. I'm gonna have to talk about the scene. So, at this point,
What are we talking about here?
it's from Dragon Ball Z. I mean, sorry, Dragon Ball's. Oh no,
It's
it's
Dragon Ball Evolution.
I'm gonna have to mention this scene. So if you wanna not hear it, although I don't think you're spoiling, and if you're really listening to this,
Spoiling Dragon Ball Evolution.
You know, I know. And I'm just giving a heads up of what I'm saying.
It's Dragon Ball fucking Evolution. If you want to watch Dragon Ball Evolution and not be spoiled, fuck you. Seriously.
Well, I mean, if you're listening to this sort of stuff anyway, you're probably gonna get spoiled on something. So, I mean, I was gonna say the two things are if you're listening to this, you're gonna get something spoiled. So there's that.
Spoiler.
But also, yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution. Why worry about being spoiled by that? But I felt like I had to get my disclaimer out. So the whole thing was just a shit fest, and I mean, I watched it. I didn't go to see it in the movies. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I watched it. I wasn't the one to pay for it. And so the whole thing was just awful, and it wasn't even awful. I'm gonna laugh at this kind of awful. It's just kind of sad. And now, it's like a train wreck, right? And there's a point in the movie where I had to pause. I actually had to pause, and I asked myself this question. I'm like, why am I still watching this? I have the power to end this. And then it's like, oh shit, I gotta see it through. Now, the scene that I've been building up to is this. There is a part where Goku literally dies in that movie after he did something incredibly stupid. There's like Chi-Chi, and there's a doppelganger Chi-Chi, and the doppelganger says, shoot the real Chi-Chi. And
but what's wrong with that? Goku always dies in the show.
yes, but here, they didn't build it up like that. It's like, not at all. And the way they bring it back is not the Dragon Balls, by the way. It's the most horrible thing I've ever seen, ever, maybe. So he hits the real Chi-Chi, and then the fake. She hits him with a rocket launcher or some sort of explosive device, and he dies. And so, how do we bring it back? Is it the Dragon Balls for which the movie is named after? No, you say. Then what? What could it be? Do you know?
The Tears of a Young Child?
No, that actually would have been better, and that's saying something. That's just fucking sad. No. What brought him back to life was far worse than any of that. Roshi comes up to him. You see, he comes up to his dead body, and what does he do? He shoots a Kamehameha into his chest, a wave of purely destructive energy, and he brings him back to life! What the fuck?
Kind of a dramatic there, but okay.
I felt like that was necessary. It was a horrible abomination. The Kamehameha does not restore life. But, yeah, so they made a shitty movie that just kind of I had to see it because, I had to see it through. I knew it was going to be bad.
I didn't watch it because I actually have a soul.
See, that's your problem right there. See, I didn't have to worry about losing it while I was watching it because, I'm mathematician. We don't have those. But no, if I did, it would have died, Parts of it would have died into infactorials until it just faded out of existence. But yeah, so back to your initial point. If you're going to do a Dragon Ball movie, do it right. Put some money behind it. And I feel like they put some money behind this new one. But, I hope the direction is good. But like I said, Akira Toriyama is highly involved in it. Oh, he's fairly checked out in recent years. I mean, he's done some weird things. Like, one of the things that I've been more curious about is Dragon Ball Online. It's like the Dragon Ball universe in the future.
I really don't.
It's massively multiplayer online RPG.
Okay, well, I'm not sure. Are people is this just for Japan or something?
I think they brought it to America, and I think it was interesting enough.
I don't know anyone playing this. I know there's people that play World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
There's people that play the Old Republic thing. I mean, not that people have left that.
But I mean, besides World of Warcraft, how many people do play online massively multiplayer?
There's supposed to be a new what's it? The people that make Skyrim are making one.
I could never really get with it, which is part of the reason why I don't think we could play this. Yeah. So it looks like it came out in 2010, and I mean, I think it's still kicking around. But there's some crazy stuff about time police and all this crazy future stuff, and Boo and incest and this, I don't know, it's crazy stuff, and mostly like it's just humans at this point with some people having shreds of Saiyan DNA. It's crazy.
Well, you can just tell like how many people are playing this in America by the size of the Wikipedia page, which is pretty small compared to World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure anyone's actually aware this exists.
It's because they didn't really advertise.
Are you sure this is in America?
I was pretty sure.
And it's not shut down?
Wait. It may be shut down, but I don't know. Wait, go back up to the release date, because they'll have something about that. Or maybe not America.
Yeah, I think it just says Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan. I don't think it's...
Oh, it hasn't been released in Japan yet?
Well, no one probably updated this.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that.
This is old. See, Wikipedia, the most trusted source in the world. Oh, they have an app.
Yeah, the crazy part is I think you have to wish to go Super Saiyan in that game. Weird.
So according to what it takes place 216 years after the events after the events at the conclusion of the Dragon Ball manga series.
In the age 1000. Yeah.
The villains in Dragon Ball Online is an evil organization known as the Dark Eye. They're time millers who are changing the events of the past. The members of Dark Eye are under the effects of mind control. Mind-controlled victims are characterized by green gems and artifacts, blah, blah, blah. He plays a character trying to repair the cracks in time. And, of course, Trunks is the one helping you out because he has the time travel machine.
Yeah, let's go with that. But the weird part is, I think it's a different Trunks. Like another Trunks from an alternate universe. My understanding of it.
I don't know where this is released. I don't see anything that we're saying it's released.
I don't know.
Because I'm seeing that's Korean at the top there.
Yeah, it was made in Korea.
Yeah, I think it's just for... I think they have an English patch, but it's mostly a Korean thing, probably. Well...
I'll explain why it hasn't really caught on.
Well, I don't think MMOs are as popular. I think they're like these type of MMOs are more popular over in Asia.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else. I just can't get with them. But I mean, then again, I've always been like a single player sort of guy, unless it was a fighting game or some sorts. Yeah. Because it's my experience. I like doing it more. I can't stand working with some people and that sort of stuff. Yeah, unless we're fighting. Yeah. I don't know, it's a weird little story, and apparently Curious Toriyama, he did work on that.
MMO. So you got anything else you want to talk about with Dragon Ball?
No, not much more. I mean, no, it's pretty good. So, Dragon Ball Battle of the Gods comes out on March 30th in Japan with a full theatrical release, and at some point it'll be hitting the seas.
The seas?
You know what I meant. It'll be coming overseas to here.
Dragon.
Watch the Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. I remember that, man. Rock the Dragon. That was a killer song. You'll get much more metal for that for an anime.